Okay, this is graphing by translation. So when you're doing this, each time you have a parent graph. So this parent graph, this is the y equals x squared. There's a parabola. Its vertex is at 0, 0. So any of these other children of that graph will have this same basic shape to them. So this one here, when something's added or subtracted to the x, that's going to affect it horizontally. So this one's going to go to the right 3, right 2. So I take this point and move it to the right 2. I take this point, it was right here, move it to the right 2. This point, negative 1, 1, move it to the right 2. And you just go on with those points. And there's your parabola. If something is added or subtracted to the end, that's going to affect it vertically. So the basic equation here is a times x minus h squared plus k. But you want to think about it in terms of an up, down, left, right. When there's a negative out here, this one's flipped across the x-axis. So this point stays where it is. There was a point here, flip it, now it's here. There was a point here, flip it, it's here, and so on. And we would get that as our graph. This one here, x plus 1, again, the general equation has minus, or just think, when is this equal to 0? At negative 1. So that's why it moves to the left 1. So this one goes left 1. And it's flipped across the x-axis. So a point that was here is now here, and so on. This one here, again, if it's with the x, it affects it horizontally. So this one is to the left 3. It's in the parentheses, and then down 2. It's not flipped because there's no negative out here. So I go left 3, down 2, and then move my points. So there was a point here. I'm going to make it go left 3 and down 2. There was a point here, left 3 and down 2. There was a point here, left 3 and down 2. You can also think about mirror points for this. Let's see here, left 3 and down 2. Okay, so you don't have to find all the points again. You want to know translation. If we had a parent graph that was an absolute value, this one would be down 3. So here now is my vertex. And then it would just go out like this. This one here, to the left 2, down 1. So from this point I go to the left 2, down 1. There's my new vertex. And again, absolute value, unless there's a number out front, it's going to have a slope of positive 1 on one side and negative 1 on the other. But you know absolute value looks like a V. This one is up 2, but it's also flipped. So this point you can flip it and then bring it up 2. There was a point here, flip it, up 2. There was a point here, flip it, and up 2. And again, you get your general look of an absolute value. This one here is just to the right 3. So go to the right 3. There was a point here, to the right 3. There was a point here, to the right 3, and so on. One more that you would see in Algebra 2 would be square root. So the square root of 0 is 0, square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. So you get this graph. Has a limited domain and range. This one here, again, it's after the fact, it's not with the x, so this one is just up 1. So move all those points. It was here, up 1. This one was here, up 1. And there's your graph. This one here, it is with x. You can think about this as being in the parentheses, so that would be to the left 1. So left 1, this point was here, to the left 1. This point was here, to the left 1. And there's your graph. Here's a negative 1. So this point's still here. There was a point here. I'm going to flip it. 4, 2 was on it, so now it's 4, negative 2. And this one has a lot in it. So this one, again, this is with the x, so that's to the left 2. It's going to be up 3, and it's going to be flipped. I'm going to go to the left 2, up 3, and flip. So the first one doesn't go anywhere. There was a point here, to the left 2, up 3, but flip, so now it's here. There was a point here, to the left 2, up 3, but flipped. Left, where was I, 2, 4. Left 2, up 3. It's easier for me to do it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, and here's one for you to try. So that's the parabola, it's going to be squared. And so the vertex has gone to the right 1, up 3, and is flipped. So flip, put a negative out there, it went to the right 1, so I'm going to put x minus 1, and then it went up 3. And that's your answer.